swapped them. Now to what's new in medicine. Dr. Amy Brenner in the house. Glad to have you here. CBD products have skyrocketed in popularity. She's got a few to show us, but you can get them everywhere. Grocery stores, coffee shops, gas stations. CBD, we know, is a compound. It is found in marijuana, but it doesn't get you high. And advocates say it can help with many things, reducing stress, anxiety. But a new report from CBS News we're going to take you to first said you may want to consider getting it from a medical provider or under medical guidance. And you might want to be careful where you buy them. They put these products to the test. Here's Barry Peterson.
It took 2 days for senior lab assistant Joshua Kogel to test our 9 samples, checking for CBD and for THC, the ingredient in marijuana that gives a high, and also for dangerous impurities like pesticides and heavy metals.
So Mile High Labs, we test for 4 different heavy metals: mercury, arsenic, cadmium, and lead. The 4...
They all sound bad.
They are very, yes, things that you do not want in your body.
Here's what Mile High found in our samples. None had pesticides or heavy metals above federal standards. The THC levels were all within federal guidelines. But when it came to dosages advertised on the label, watch out. 4 samples were pretty much right on. 2 samples cheated you, giving only 60 to 80% of the advertised dosage. Then there were the overperformers. 1,000 milligram supply was really 1,100, 10% higher. And one was way over, 210% of what the label said.
This last sample claimed 500 milligrams in the bottle, and we measured 210% in the bottle.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah.
So that's really concerning to me.
Steve Muller founded Mile High Labs in Loveland, Colorado, and is its CEO.
We believe strong regulation and acting quickly will benefit consumers and improve the industry.
He testified at FDA hearings arguing for federal regulation to ensure accuracy in labeling.
Right now, there's no one enforcing any of those things. It's sort of up to the companies to do it themselves.
So that really is the Wild West. You just, whatever you say is what ends up on the label is what people think they're buying.
Yeah, you can see that from the results here, that it is the Wild West, and what you get on the shelf is you don't really know.
To find out if what we don't know can hurt us, we went to the emergency room at UC Health, University of Colorado Hospital.
We know that it has some medical benefits.
Where I met Dr. Andrew Monti, a toxicologist and emergency medicine physician who has treated people who ingested too much CBD.
Patients actually can become more somnolent than would be expected, right? So they can become very sleepy. Patients can also get nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea.
Now, it's worth mentioning, Dr. Monte tells CBS News that CBD does interact with prescription drugs, but because we lack reliable controlled trials, we don't have enough detail to understand all the interactions. Barry Peterson, CBS News, New York.
So we thought that was so interesting. Joining us now, we want to welcome Dr. Amy Brenner to share what's new in medicine, what we need to know. Now, you are a women's health provider, and your practice is in Mason.
Correct.
And you see all kinds of, different diagnoses and that kind of thing. So one of the reasons I wanted you here was this comes up a lot. What do you use it for? How do you know if it's any good? So let's start with why even have this in a women's health office? What was the interest, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so we're really using these products in our practice primarily. There's so many men and women that have sleep issues, mood issues. So people are really looking for this. People are looking for alternatives to prescription drugs that have side effects. Mm-hmm. So we're seeing a lot of people get off sleeping pills, get off antidepressants, even get off different kinds of pain medicines with this more natural approach.
Okay, so one of the things that came up in there is that I would have no idea if I went in, even with the knowledge I have of what I'm really looking for or whether or not what they were saying was in the bottle. So my guess is when you decide to put these in your office, you look into those things. So tell me what's on some of your bottles and what you would look for, that kind of thing.
Yes. So I couldn't agree with that story more. So the product we chose is called Ultracell from Zalise. And what I really like about this is all of these bottles have one of those QR readers. So if you have a QR reader on your phone, you can scan that and it shows the certificate of analysis for every batch. And so it shows what it's supposed to have in it and what it's not supposed to have in it. Like they mentioned of pesticides and toxins and things like that. So everybody's taking this to improve their health, and you don't want to be taking those bad things that were mentioned in the other story.
Or get 210% of something, that's not gonna, like you talk about, you need it to sleep, you'll be sleeping all day.
Right.
All right, so let's talk about, you've got a variety of different products, they're different colors. Pull a few of these bottles toward me. Let me just see kind of what you have here that are different products, or?
So this is the same product.
Okay.
They just come in different flavors. So
Okay.
berry, lemon, and raw.
And you
doesn't-
take them how? You put them under your tongue, you do, what's the?
Right, so these are all sublingual products minus this topical. So you put it under your tongue, hold it for about a minute, and then swallow. So just a better absorption method if it goes through the veins there instead of getting destroyed in your stomach and going through your liver.
Okay, so on the different colored bottles, you have 4 different things here. They say Ultra Edge, Ultra Ice, Ultra Burn, and Ultra Dream. What does that mean?
So these are hemp-free products,
Okay.
meaning they don't contain any cannabis, but they're meant to just boost the results if somebody needs a booster to CBD or even CBG, which is the new cannabis product on the market. So these can be used in addition to CBD, or if somebody has an allergy to hemp or for whatever reason can't take a hemp product.
Okay, so we have a little video to show you. Let's talk in general. What is cannabidiol or CBD?
So people get confused as CBD and marijuana both come from the cannabis plant. And then depending on how much THC is in it, it's either labeled as marijuana if there's a lot of THC in it, or CBD if there's minimal THC
Like trace
in it.
amounts almost,
Trace,
yeah.
correct.
So you have to evaluate an individual then to even know if it's something that would help them. It's kind of being put out there as a cure-all. There's a lot we still don't know yet. Research is still sort of, sketchy. So is there, my understanding is there's not harm in trying it, but it won't work for everything and everyone.
Definitely. I mean, nothing out there is a cure-all, but, and you're right, we're just learning about the endocannabinoid system. It was just discovered in 1992. So sometimes it is trial and error of, what the right dose is for somebody, if somebody's going to benefit from CBD, or maybe they need to add a different cannabis product called CBG. Maybe CBG might be better than CBD.
The G is what makes it different with a G?
It's just it's a different component of a phytocannabinoid. This is one of 100 phytocannabinoids, and this is another phytocannabinoid that's in the cannabis plant.
Okay, I have a graphic because I kind of looked up some research and I just wanted to have you sort of talk me through what's on it. So what you mentioned is it's derived from hemp, but you do not get high from taking any of this, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and the conditions right now, when I look up sort of what it's been approved for, I know there's a very specific prescription medication for seizures. What other conditions do you get asked about? I saw anxiety, insomnia.
So we're using in our practice for, like you mentioned, anxiety, insomnia, pain. We're also using it for bowel issues, kind of any kind of itis. So plantar
itis means inflammation of.
Any
so
kind of
even
inflammation.
like the whole IBS, that kind of thing. You have people that say that works for them. I have heard
Correct.
that. And then you mentioned a topical. What would the topical advantage be over something going inside you?
So I really like if somebody has a condition that we think this might help them to start with the drops first, but the topical is a cream and it can be used over an isolated kind of injury or isolated joint to just rub on that specific area.
So we almost think of this, remember when aloe came out and we were putting it on everything and we found it had healing properties, so things like that. I appreciate so much that you're talking about this in a very credible way, but the message here really today is you went and you sought a source that you knew would actually have what was on the label, and then you still oversee these patients. They come back to you on a regular basis, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so you're not just randomly taking that. I know they're not cheap. Is there an average cost?
This is about $120 a bottle. For somebody that just wants to try it, this is around $30, $35 a bottle, these mini bottles, and these bigger bottles around $120.
So you're gonna probably get what you pay for, and be careful that you're not paying for something that you're not getting. Dr. Amy Brenner, we welcome you to What's New in Medicine. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank
This
you
is
for having
interesting
me.
stuff. Yeah, we'll be right back.